If you've been trying to lose weight, you've been eating healthy, you've been working out, and somehow the scale still isn't moving, this video is for you. Because here's the truth. You probably don't need another diet. You probably don't need another fat burning supplement. And you probably don't need to spend another 2 hours doing cardio every day. You need to understand what's actually controlling your results. And today, I'm going to break down exactly why people struggle to lose weight, the mistakes I see over and over again, and what you should actually focus on if you want to lose fat and keep it off. So if you've been frustrated because you're putting in effort, but you're not seeing the results, you want to stay until the end. Because I'm going to give you a simple framework you can actually follow. Let's start with probably the biggest misconception is I eat healthy, so why am I not losing weight? Here's the problem. Eating healthy and losing weight are not automatically the same thing. You can eat healthy foods and still eat more calories than your body needs. Think about foods like peanut butter, avocado, olive oil, nuts, granola, rice, and even smoothies. These can absolutely be part of a healthy diet, but healthy doesn't mean unlimited. Your body doesn't look at a food and say, oh, that's healthy, so these calories don't count. Calories still matter. And that's one of the biggest things people need to understand. I'm not saying you need to obsess over every single calorie you eat for the rest of your life. I'm saying you need to understand the basic principle. If you're consistently consuming more energy than you're using, you're not going to consistently lose body fat. That's just the reality. So before you start looking for some secret fat burning food, you need to understand the fundamentals. The problem is portion sizes, and this one gets people all the time. Someone tells me I barely eat anything. Then we actually look at what they're eating, and suddenly the portions are what they thought they were. A tablespoon of peanut butter becomes 3 tablespoons. A serving of cereal becomes a giant bowl. A little bit of oil becomes several pours into the pan. A handful of nuts becomes half the bag. And none of these foods are necessarily bad. The issue is that people are estimating portions instead of actually understanding them. If you're consistently underestimating how much you're eating, you're also underestimating how much calories you're consuming. That's why tracking your food for a period of time can actually be extremely useful. Not because you need to track forever, because you need to learn what your portions actually look like. Now let's talk about something that I see constantly. Monday through Friday, you're perfect. You're eating your meals, you're training, you're drinking water, you're hitting your steps. Then Friday night comes, you go out to eat, you have drinks. Saturday comes, you have a cheat meal. Sunday comes, you're eating leftovers. And then Monday morning, you're wondering, why am I not losing weight? Here's the problem. Your body doesn't care that you were perfect Monday through Friday. If you were consistently making up that deficit on the weekend, let's say you're creating a moderate calorie deficit during the week, then you have 2 or 3 extremely high calorie days. You can wipe out a huge portion of the deficit you created. That's why you need to stop thinking about your diet as Monday through Friday. Your body doesn't operate on a work week. You need a system you can follow 7 days a week. That doesn't mean you can never eat at a restaurant. It doesn't mean you can never have a dessert. It doesn't mean you can never enjoy yourself. It means you need to learn how to do those things without turning one meal into an entire weekend. Next, drinks. People will tell me I'm barely eating, and then they'll show me what they're drinking. Coffee loaded with calories, sodas, juices, alcohol, sweetened drinks, massive smoothies, and then suddenly there are hundreds of calories coming in through liquids that they aren't even thinking about. This is why you need to pay attention to what you're drinking just as much as what you're eating. Water is easy. 0 calorie drinks can be useful, and if you enjoy higher calorie drinks, that's fine too. Just understand that those calories count towards your overall intake. Again, it's not about labeling foods as good or bad. It's about understanding the system. Now let's talk about protein. If you're trying to lose fat while maintaining as much muscle as possible, proteins need to be a major part of your diet. Protein helps your support system, protein helps your support muscle maintenance, and can also help you with satiety, which means it can make it easier to stick to your diet. But here's another mistake. People either don't eat enough protein or they think they need some sort of ridiculous amount. You don't need to turn to every meal into a bodybuilding competition. You need a reasonable protein target that fits your body, your goals, your training, and your overall diet. Build your meals around quality protein sources, then build the rest of your nutrition around that foundation. Now, let's talk about cardio. A lot of people think if I want to lose weight, I need to do more. If I want to lose weight, I need to do more cardio. Not necessarily. Cardio can absolutely be useful, but cardio shouldn't be your entire strategy. You can spend an hour on the treadmill every day and still struggle if your nutrition is completely out of control. A better approach is to build an overall activity level that you can actually maintain. Strength training, walking, cardio, daily movement, all of those can play a role. The goal isn't to punish yourself with exercises because you ate something you enjoyed. The goal is to build a lifestyle that supports your goals. Here's something extremely simple that people overlook. Walking. Your daily movement matters. You don't have to turn every workout into some insane sweat session. Sometimes increasing your daily activity is as simple as walking more. Take a walk after meals, park further away, take the stairs, get up and move throughout the day. Those little things add up a lot. And unlike some extreme workout program, walking is something most people can actually maintain. Now here's another major issue. People weigh themselves Monday, they're down 2 pounds. They're excited. Wednesday, they're up a pound. They're freaking out. Friday, they're the same weight. And suddenly, they think their diet isn't working. Your body weight is going to fluctuate. Water, food volume, sodium, carbohydrates, stress, sleep, training, all of these things can influence the number you see on the scale. So don't judge your entire program based on one weigh-in. Look at the trend. If you're consistently following the plan, monitor the trend over time. That's what matters. And while we're talking about things people overlook, let's talk about sleep. You can have a great training program, you can have a good nutrition plan, you can have everything written down, but if you're constantly exhausted, you're making everything harder. Recovery matters, your ability to train matters, your hunger and your appetite can be harder to manage when you're exhausted, and your overall consistency can suffer. So don't treat sleep like something optional. If you're serious about improving your body, recovery is part of the process. This is probably one of the biggest reasons people fail. They decide I'm changing everything starting Monday. So they create the perfect diet. They're going to train 6 days a week. They're going to do cardio every morning. They're going to drink a gallon of water. They're going to sleep 8 hours. They're going to meal prep every meal. They're going to completely eliminate sugar. And they're going to do all of this forever. 2 weeks later, they're burned out. Then they quit. Then they wait until Monday. Then they quit. Then they wait until Monday. Then they start again, and the cycle repeats. Instead, build a system you can actually maintain. Start with the fundamentals: nutrition, routine, train, daily movement, sleep, consistency. Get those right before you start adding unnecessary complexity. Here's something I want you to understand. You don't need to have a perfect day. You don't need to have enough good days. You don't need to eat perfectly. You need to consistently make better decisions. You don't need to have a perfect workout every time. You need to keep showing up, throw away an entire week because you had one bad meal. One bad meal isn't the problem. The problem is when one bad meal becomes, well, I already messed up, so I'll start again Monday. No, you don't need to wait until Monday. Your next meal is your opportunity to get back on track. So let's make this extremely simple. If your goal is to lose body fat, start here. Number 1, create a reasonable calorie deficit. Number 2, Eat enough protein to support your goal and training. Number 3, strength train consistently. Number 4, increase your daily movement. Number 5, get enough sleep and prioritize your recovery. Number 6, track your progress using trends instead of obsessing over individual days. Number 7, build a system you can actually maintain. That's it. You don't need a magic food. You don't need a secret. You don't need a secret supplement. You don't need to punish yourself without endless cardio. You need the fundamentals executed consistently. And here's what I want you to take away from this entire video. Most people fail because they don't know what to do. They fail because they can't consistently execute what they already know. They know they should eat better. They know they should move more. They know they should train. They know they should sleep. The problem is building a system that works when life gets busy. That's where the real challenge is, because anyone can follow a diet for 7 days. The real question is, can you follow your system for 6 months? Can you follow it when you're traveling? Can you follow it when you're busy? Can you follow it when you don't feel motivated? Can you follow it when you have a bad day? That's what determines whether you actually change. So if you're interested because you've been trying to lose weight and you're not getting the results you want, don't immediately jump to another extreme diet. Take a step back, look at your choices, look at your portions, look at your protein, look at your activity, look at your weekends, look at your sleep, and most importantly, look at your consistency. Because the goal is to find the perfect diet, because the goal isn't to find the perfect diet. The goal is to build a system that you can actually execute. If this video helped you understand what might actually be holding you back, if this video helped you understand what might be holding your progress back, follow for more practical nutrition, training, and fat loss information. And if you're serious about changing your body, don't focus on being perfect, focus on being consistent. I'll see you in the next one.